5:47 a.m., Coral Gables, Florida. The sky was still dark when DEA Special Agent Victor Reyes pressed his shoulder against the stucco wall of a $12 million waterfront mansion. Palm trees swayed in the humid pre-dawn breeze. Biscayne Bay was silent. From the outside, the property looked like another luxury estate owned by a successful businessman. Inside, federal intelligence said was Carlos El Viejo Mendoza, a high-ranking CJNG cartel operator coordinating multi-ton drug shipments into South Florida.
Department of Justice and FBI have just announced what they call the largest international operation against fentanyl and opioid trafficking on the dark net.
For Reyes and his team, this was supposed to be a high-value but routine cartel raid. The warrant authorized a no-knock entry based on wiretaps and surveillance gathered over 8 months. Mendoza had been recorded discussing shipments from Mexico, coordinating distribution cells from Miami to Orlando, and referencing large product quantities stored at his Coral Gables home. Agents expected cocaine, cash, and weapons, another major bust in the endless war against narcotics. At 5:52 a.m., the battering ram struck. The reinforced door splintered inward and tactical agents surged through the entrance with disciplined precision. Mendoza was found in the master bedroom reaching toward a nightstand. He was tackled and restrained before he could grab the loaded Glock inside the drawer. Within minutes, the house was secured, and at first, everything looked exactly as expected. In the garage, agents found 400 kilograms of cocaine concealed inside a modified luxury SUV compartment.
58,000 kilos of cocaine? Think about a big backyard swimming pool. That would fill 1.5 swimming pools. Just the powder cocaine.
In the basement, duffel bags held another 2 metric tons, vacuum sealed and stacked like bricks. In a waterproof storage room off the master bath, agents located 680 kilograms of fentanyl packed in industrial containers. In the kitchen pantry behind canned vegetables and imported olive oil, $23 million in rubber banded cash was stacked floor to ceiling. It was already one of the largest seizures South Florida had seen in. But then Agent Reyes noticed something that didn't make sense. The interior layout didn't match the architectural blueprint. Based on exterior measurements, Mendoza's private office should have extended another 15 feet. Instead, the room ended abruptly at a custom bookshelf built flush against the back wall. Reyes ran his hand along the wood paneling and felt a faint vibration behind it, a hollow echo where solid foundations should have been. When agents forced the mechanism open, they didn't find another stash room. They found a command center. Inside the hidden space were 3 large monitors streaming live surveillance feeds, not of rival cartels, not of shipping docks, but of Miami-Dade Police Headquarters, the City of Miami Police Department, and the County Sheriff's Office. High-grade radio scanners were tuned to encrypted law enforcement frequencies. A wall map detailed patrol routes with annotations marking clean zones and compromised units. On the central desk sat a leather-bound ledger labeled simply Monthly Payroll. Agent Reyes opened it carefully. The first entry read Sheriff AV $400,000. Below it were 17 additional names listed by badge number, department, and payment amount. Monthly bribes ranged from $50,000 to $150,000 per officer. Each entry included coded notes, raid warning, evidence cleared, witness location shared, rival delivery intercepted. Over 3 years, the total payments exceeded $115 million. What began as a drug raid had just exposed a systemic law enforcement corruption network worth over $1.4 billion in protected cartel revenue. The hidden room held even more damning evidence. Agents recovered official police uniforms, department-issued badges, and evidence room access keys. There were encrypted phones containing message threads between Mendoza and individuals identified only by badge numbers. Some messages were chilling in their simplicity. Clear Unit 7 by 2100, transfer witness address, evidence secured. Within hours, the DEA seizure became secondary. The FBI Miami field office took control of the scene. The mansion was reclassified as a federal corruption crime site. As analysts worked through 3 years of records, the pattern that emerged was devastating. When major cartel cases were brought into local custody, evidence would mysteriously vanish. Lab samples were contaminated. Key narcotic shipments went missing. Prosecutors were forced to drop high-profile trafficking charges due to procedural failures. When witnesses agreed to testify, their identities were leaked. The ledger listed 8 entries marked WE. Witness eliminated alongside dates and payment confirmation. FBI cross-referenced those dates with unsolved homicides in Miami-Dade. 8 individuals who had cooperated with authorities were murdered within weeks of giving statements. And the corruption ran deeper still. When rival trafficking groups attempted to operate through Miami, certain officers would arrest them on legitimate charges, then quietly transfer them to cartel enforcers instead of jail processing. Some of those individuals were never seen again. The badge had been weaponized because the corrupt corruption touched multiple agencies, the FBI conducted its investigation in absolute secrecy. No Miami-Dade personnel were informed. Federal agents from outside Florida handled surveillance and warrant preparation under strict compartmentalization. Once enough evidence was secured, the operation moved to its final phase. May 15, 2025, 6 a.m. Operation Blue Wall Down. 18 coordinated arrest teams executed simultaneous warrants across Miami-Dade County. Sheriff Antonio Vargas was taken into custody in his driveway before leaving for work. Inside his waterfront home, agents discovered $2.3 million in concealed cash, encrypted communications devices, and contact logs tied directly to Mendoza. Across the county, 17 officers were arrested at their homes. Some surrendered immediately. One attempted to flee over a backyard fence before being apprehended. Two tried destroying digital evidence before FBI cyber teams intervened. One officer facing life imprisonment attempted suicide but survived after emergency medical response. By 8 a.m., all 18 suspects were in federal custody. The press conference the following day sent shockwaves through Florida. The Attorney General, FBI Director, and Florida Governor stood together and announced the dismantling of a corruption enterprise embedded inside 3 law enforcement agencies. The charges included narco-terrorism, racketeering, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and murder conspiracy. 14 officers quickly accepted plea agreements, providing sworn testimony detailing recruitment methods and internal coordination. According to court filings, Mendoza targeted financially vulnerable officers first, gradually escalating bribes from small favors to full operational cooperation. Sheriff Vargas and 3 officers refused plea deals. Their trial began in September 2025 and lasted 8 weeks. Prosecutors introduced $450 million in financial records, wiretap conversations, the complete $115 million ledger, body camera footage, and testimony from cooperating officers. The jury deliberated for 6 hours, guilty on all counts. In December, sentencing was historic. Sheriff Vargas received 8 consecutive life sentences plus 300 years. The 3 remaining officers received sentences ranging from 65 years to life without parole. The consequences extended beyond prison walls. Governor-led reforms mandated full financial disclosures for officers, random integrity audits, federal oversight coordination units, and anonymous corruption reporting channels. FBI liaisons were permanently embedded within major departments. Without internal protection, CJ&G's Miami network collapsed within months. Follow-up federal raids seized an additional 18 tons of narcotics and $340 million in assets.
Tons of drugs have been seized as a result of this task force. We try to put this in perspective for you. This would be filling 4 18-wheelers.
Trafficking routes that had operated freely for years were dismantled. But the human cost remained. For the families of the 8 murdered witnesses, the truth brought anger as much as closure. Federal compensation funds provided financial support, but no sentence could restore the lives lost to betrayal. This case revealed a hard truth. Corruption doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like polished uniforms and official press conferences. Sometimes it hides behind authority, yet it also proves something else. The system, though wounded, corrected itself. Federal oversight worked, evidence survived, and even a sheriff could be held accountable. What began as a routine DEA raid uncovered 1 hidden room, 1 ledger, and 1 catastrophic betrayal that brought down an entire corruption network. If you believe stories like this matter, if you believe transparency and accountability must be protected at every level, then share this, because while the vast majority of officers serve with honor, the few who betray that trust must know one thing: eventually the wall falls.